Does the real world seem unsatisfying?
It's boring, but it's part of my life.
Well, time to level up and reboot reality. Join Toxic Mike and Demonoid as they explore the ever-evolving world of virtual reality and everything it has to offer. Whether you're just starting out or you've been there from the beginning, Reboot Reality will introduce, educate, and guide you to the best in VR. Find it wherever you get podcasts at toxicradio.net or on the free Toxic Radio app. Reboot Reality. Log in and get immersed. Hey, you. I don't mean to judge, but you don't have enough stuff.
Way to rub it in, jerk.
Know where you can get stuff? We got stuff. Lots of stuff. Get the stuff you need at toxicradio.net or through the free app.
A caveman could do it.
T-shirts, hoodies, mugs, stickers, all featuring your favorite Toxic Radio shows.
Okay, literal goosebumps.
So get off your ass and get your stuff.
I don't think that kind of language is appropriate.
And get some stuff for the people in your life too, you selfish bitch.
You got yourself a deal.
The Toxic Shop. Don't buy it safe. Buy it toxic. All sports talk shows are the same, right?
I am bothered by everything.
You gotta go back to football school.
The goal of this guy, it's just immeasurable.
Wrong. In a world filled with talking heads more interested in their own celebrity than actually knowing the sports world, it's hard to find the people who really care about sports first. Look no further. Wire to Wire has it all covered. These guys have the knowledge and the cred to back up their opinions. No hot takes to get attention, just straight up opinions. Know anyone else who correctly called the 2020 World Series and March Madness? How about 70% on the NFL and NCAA football last year? You don't. Bottom line, these guys know their shit. They aren't doing it for attention, they're doing it for passion. Wire to Wire. Live every Wednesday, 8:30 Eastern, only on Toxic Radio and wherever you find podcasts.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back. It is Birds Deep post-draft. A lot to talk about if you're a Birds fan. We're going to dive into that today. Talk about the undrafted free agents. Talk about the picks. Talk about the trade. All that good stuff. I'm The Godfrey, as you can see on the screen. THEEGODFREY. And next to me, we got the NFL genius, Mean.
Woo! Gene.
That's right. So we got tons to talk about. Great draft. Howie Roseman texted me, told me to tell Gene to go fuck himself.
Listen, Howie can say anything he wants at this point.
He said, hey, "You like that? You like that?" That's what he. That's
he
what
Kirk Cousins me.
He Kirk Cousins you.
That's
yeah.
fine. Listen, I'm the biggest Howie hater of all time, and I'm 100% there with it. And I can't hate on what happened in this draft. I cannot hate on what happened. So Howie Roseman, I'll buy you a dinner. I will not hate on you for a month, maybe two, until the day you release Jalen Reagor and release J.J. Arcega-Whiteside.
Oh, dude, he's gonna be number one tight end.
No. Dallas Goedert's number one tight end.
No, I know.
I
saw so many posts on every social media platform that was attached to the Eagles about J.J. Arcega-Whiteside going to tight end. I wanted to kill myself. I'm like, can the draft start already? Like, do I need to even know that? Like, is that? It doesn't even deserve to be a footnote. I don't know. Whatever. Yeah, J.J. Arcega-Whiteside. Great.
But with that being said, I cannot argue over what Howie did in this draft. Listen, I'll be every single person here, I will tell you, I would have preferred Kyle Hamilton at 13. When they traded up to 13, I would have preferred Kyle Hamilton.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't dislike Jordan Davis, though. Jordan Davis was my number 3 ranked defensive prospect in this entire draft.
I mean,
Kyle Hamilton's just one.
If you watch this show, I've been pretty consistent with I wanted Kyle Hamilton, and I was there. I was like, oh my God. Because we talked about how he wouldn't fall that far, and he was there.
It reminds you a lot of Earl Thomas, Brandon Graham, though. Just a little bit, no?
Yeah, a little bit, but...
They trade up. We want Earl Thomas, and then it turns out to be Brandon Graham.
Yeah.
And Brandon Graham worked out well. Like, it's not like he did anything wrong. I just,
stripped the football that got us the
exactly,
championship.
Exactly.
I mean, I know it's we're talking about one play, but overall he's been a good player. He turned the corner. It took him like 2-3 years, I think, to really like fit in. But I will say that the difference here is I also, when I was consistent with it, I wanted Jordan Davis and Nakobe Dean. One, because I wanted the linebacker that was, by all accounts, a first-round pick in most people's book, early second round at latest. I mean, he just fell in the Eagles' lap.
In the third round.
I couldn't believe it.
Guys, listen. I watch a lot of college football. I'm not a professional NFL scout, but I watch a lot of football. I'm right way more often than I'm wrong when I'm talking about football prospects. The Eagles got the number 2 and number 3 ranked defensive players on my entire board. And they got them in the first and third round. I think that's incredible. I truly am astonished that the Eagles got Nakobe Dean in the third round. I think that 31 other NFL teams are going to regret passing on him in the second round. And I don't care if you have a starting middle linebacker. Like, you could use a leader like Nakobe Dean on your team. And we will get into Nakobe Dean. But we have to get into the trade. We have to get into the first-round draft pick, our second-round draft pick, who's Jason Kelsey loves, and then Nakobe Dean. So we have 4 overall things to go over, and then we'll go over the end of undrafted free agents, and then later round picks.
Jason Kelsey also loved the A.J. Brown trade, as was shown on social media.
So question for you. Do you want to start with the trade, or do you want to start with the first-round pick? First-round pick happened first.
Let's go with the first-round pick.
Okay, so, ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce you. If you haven't watched him play college football and you lived under a rock, Jordan Davis has some amazing highlights. And I want to introduce you to them tonight because Jordan Davis is, it's the fastest ran combine for a 340-pound man. Fastest ran 40 ever.
Wow.
For a man 340 pounds. He ran a 4.78 40-yard dash at 340 pounds.
Wow.
This guy is a monster. And as you watch,
I saw him run the 40 because it was all over.
And as you watch on these tapes, and some of these are unbelievable. This is Jordan Davis. Big 99er up the middle, clogs the middle. It's going to stop the run game. You're not getting through him. Look, as you see on this play, obviously gets a sack, pushes right through the line. You cannot not double team this guy. He's unbelievable. All right, let's look at this play right here. Taking 2 blockers and takes the running back down. Jordan Davis is versus UAB, not a big deal. The first game was versus Clemson, who has a ton of stars. This play is incredible. Look how big man runs down a running back on the other side of the field. It was a pitch play. Big 99 right in the middle again. You can't miss him. He's the biggest guy on the entire field. Pushing the center, pushing the guard, getting the safety.
Yeah, and I feel like people undervalue that position when a guy like that, as you can see, moves the entire pocket.
He was triple teamed on that play.
Yeah, and he moved the entire pocket. It's not always about getting a sack. It's about collapsing the pocket and ruining the play, right? And that position, defensive tackle, can upset any offense in the NFL. If you have a defensive tackle that can get penetration up the middle, I don't care what quarterback you are.
Oh, my God. Did you see him run the running back down? No, I agree with you. There's a play coming up where he actually runs down a quarterback from outside the pocket. I think it's coming up soon. I mean, obviously, a lot of these plays, you're going to see him stuff the middle, and you're not going to get a lot of running yards against us on the inside. Look at this. Another 3rd and 1, just stuff.
That play's over, blowing the whistle. It's a horrible whistle. Horrible whistle.
You
but
just stopped the video?
I didn't stop the video.
It was hurtful. All right, so here's Big 99 coming around the outs. Look at this. He's running stunts and getting to the quarterback.
And that's the thing they'll be able to do with him on the pros. I mean, you could throw him on
that
the
guy's a monster.
You could throw him on the outside.
You want to run in the middle versus him?
Yeah, Eagles did some serious upgrading to the defense this year.
This is versus Bama. All 3 of these linemen got drafted in the first round.
Yep.
Versus Bama. Just throwing people down. This was actually the SEC title game.
Now, did Bama beat them in that game?
Yes.
They did? Not in the national championship, though.
Badly. I'm waiting for this. This is still the SEC title game. Look, this play is unbelievable. He runs down a running back and through Michigan's offensive line was ranked number 1 in the entire league.
Now,
Again, Hassan Haskins, nowhere to go. Jordan Davis got you covered.
Everybody watches this show knows we're sold on Jordan Davis. But I want to talk about some of the criticism that has been given to him. One, they say he takes plays off.
Okay.
So, I don't know. I don't necessarily buy that. The explanation is that there was a lot of blowout games and they were taking them out late in games. Is that accurate? Like, is that what
So, all right. I can help you guys understand a lot of this. Do you guys understand what the transfer portal is? Godfrey, do you understand the transfer portal?
Yep. Like free agency for college football, pretty much.
Georgia has the most 5-star recruits on the defensive side of the ball. If they don't play in football games, especially games that they're blowing a team out, which, by the way, every one of Georgia's games this year, outside of 2, were blowouts.
Yeah, a lot of blowouts. Yep.
Everyone. So if they don't get in the game and they don't see action and don't see the field, then they're going to transfer out. So what they did was they ran a rotation on the defensive line. He played in the most snaps he played all year was in the national championship versus Alabama.
Yeah.
That tells you everything you need to know. He only played 47% of his snaps for the year, but they were blowing teams out. This guy has proven this throughout his combine, and he doesn't take plays off on the field. He takes plays off on the sideline. It's not like, so don't get the thought process that he takes plays off on the field, because he doesn't.
Yeah, and here's the thing, like,
not to mention, Eagles run the same rotational piece on their defensive line already.
Yeah.
So it's not like he's not doing something he's not already doing.
Yeah, so now you got to block Hassan Reddick and Jordan Davis.
Not to mention Fletcher Cox, Javon Hargrave.
And a blitzing Nakobe Dean up the middle behind Jordan Davis. So good luck with
It's
that.
ridiculous.
And I think, a lot of people, I read an article that was critical of him. It was from the Sports Illustrated page for the Jets, which, obviously is a bad source overall because of history. They were saying how he's overrated in March because he didn't get a lot of tackles. He didn't really get a lot of sacks. They were talking about, he's not really a plus defender, and they put like a 3rd or 4th round grade on him, which is lunacy. But this is
that person needs to be fired.
He's an ex NFL scout, so probably an ex NFL scout for a reason. He put a 4th round documented grade on last year's overhyped defensive tackle, Alabama's Christian Barmore. Everyone thought I was crazy, and he thinks he was right by saying that about Barmore last year.
Okay.
Who was a 2nd round pick to New England. And he says Jordan Davis is no Christian Barmore. I think people, and we talked about this at the end of the show a couple times. There's people that don't watch the games that are going to tell you this based off, public opinion, things that people are putting out in the echo chamber, because a lot of this shit happens in the NFL draft before the draft. And they're not, I didn't know that detail that Gene told me about the 5-star recruits, and it makes perfect sense. These kids want to put things on film. If they're not getting play, they're going to go into the transfer portal to a different school that will give them play.
Correct. So let me give you an example. In the entire Pac-12, how many 5-star defensive players do you think started in the entire Pac-12? Now, you got to understand there's 12 teams.
I mean,
how many 5-star defensive players? Obviously, Kayvon Thibodeau is one.
Yeah.
Like, there's Oregon, there's USC. How many 5-star defensive players do you think were on in the entire Pac-12?
14?
14? It's a decent number.
Yeah.
They had 9.
Okay.
The entire Pac-12. How many Georgia defensive players were 5-star rating?
Oh, there's well over 10, right?
9.
Oh, there's 9? Okay.
9
That's
on Georgia, 9 in the entire conference.
Oh, wow. No wonder.
It's silly.
Yeah, I mean, and this thing about taking plays off, here's another criticism of Jordan Davis.
Okay.
Is that people think he doesn't get low enough on the line of scrimmage. What do you say to that?
You can't. You see how big he is?
Right.
It's not like he's getting pushed off the ball. He's unblockable.
Right.
Godfrey, he is unblockable. So, like, when I look at Aaron Donald, I know Aaron Donald and Jordan Davis are totally different players. Aaron Donald's doing it more with physical strength and speed.
Hand technique, things of that nature.
Correct. But when I look at Aaron Donald, the first thing I see is unblockable.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, there's not a player in the league, not one player in the league, that can block Jordan Davis one-on-one.
Yeah.
Now, and he's not even played a game yet.
Yeah, and the thing is there's so many things you could do with him. You could run stunts. Now you can do creative things with Hassan Riddick because he could play the Joker position. He could be on the line. He could be off the line. You have Nakobe Dean that he played behind. And I was big on that because we used the example of Haloti Ngata, and then you have Ray Lewis behind him. And Ray Lewis always really needed, not that he wouldn't have been a good player, a really good defensive tackle in front of him.
It's a great example.
And this guy has the guy he played with for the last 3 years. I mean, they were
Oh, not 3, but I got
or
you.
2 years, whatever. But
I get it. No, I follow.
so to me,
And by the way, 340 is his low weight. You want him in playing shape, which is 340.
yeah.
He's got up to 366 at one point last season.
Do you buy that his mom was an Eagles fan, or was that?
Yes,
rumor?
no, 100%. She said it before the draft.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
The cool thing about Jordan Davis is at 340, running a 4.740. Can you imagine like walking down the street and seeing a guy that was 6'7",
No.
340 pounds that ran a 4.740?
Yeah, that's a big person. The only comparison I have for
A
seeing
bear.
people that are that big is like
Like I compare a bear to that.
I remember seeing the Big Show from WWE, and he's bigger than that. But I was like, oh
He
my
don't run a 4.740.
No, he can't.
A bear. It's my best comparison. If you want an NFL comparison for Jordan Davis, I'm going to go a bear.
Yeah, I mean,
Like a full-on bear.
he doesn't need to get low, and that's the point. That's why I was bringing it up. But that's
No one's pushing him off the ball.
no, not at
Can you
all.
imagine trying to get a quarterback sneak on 4th and inches and
Nope.
Jordan Davis is standing over the line?
Nope.
Do you realize how much of a weapon that kid is?
I know Carson likes to do that. Don't think about it, buddy. It's not going to end well for you. All right?
I hope that the schedule comes out, tomorrow?
Yeah.
I
no,
hope
it's tomorrow. I know it's May.
it's coming out very soon. I hope that the opening Monday Night Football game is Philadelphia, Washington.
That'd be amazing.
I think that's going to happen.
So, the Eagles jumped up to get this kid, and if they wanted Kyle Hamilton, they could have took him. But in
Correct.
the mock drafts we were doing on the show, a lot of times it had the Ravens taking him at 14.
Correct. Ravens wanted him.
Pretty accurate. And he's a total Ravens type of player. So, I think the Eagles were wise to jump up in front of the Ravens because they knew exactly what they were doing. I mean, if they wanted Kyle Hamilton, they could have just sat there and been like, we would got either one. But here's the thing. I love Kyle Hamilton. I think he's going to have a great career. People say he has Hall of Fame potential. And I think he would do a lot for the Eagles defense, but in the grand scheme of things, I think the broader impact would be from a Jordan Davis, in my opinion, as far as how it trickles down to the defense.
I mean, I feel like it's 6 and 1, half a dozen the other.
Right.
I think Kyle Hamilton's going to be a Hall of Famer. And I've said that before this draft. I said that since I watched him play at Notre Dame versus multiple teams this year.
It really fucked with my emotions that they were able to get Kyle Hamilton and then they got Jordan Davis because I wanted both players.
Yeah, it's fair.
I was just
But
like,
you got one of the two.
yeah.
Okay, so I think this would be the perfect time to bring in Nakobe Dean highlights.
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
in the third round, they drafted Nakobe Dean, number 19 overall, in the third round. Nakobe Dean was slipping. People said he had bicep issues. They worry about his 40 time. I want you to watch some of these highlights for Nakobe Dean. So this is a halfback screen, instincts to the ball. He was supposed to be blocked, couldn't be blocked, stopped it, 4th down. This is a 3rd and 12. He's dropping back in coverage. They used a check down. Nakobe Dean makes the open field tackle. That's
Yeah.
versus Tennessee.
Micah
Very good
Parsons,
team.
Micah Parsons was shocked he wasn't drafted by the time he was drafted.
Oh, 100%.
Micah Parsons approves of the talent, just to let you guys know.
Nakobe Dean is the smartest player on our defense, and he hasn't played on our defense yet. This is the national championship, 24-20. Nakobe Dean getting the backfield sacking, which will next year be the number 1 quarterback taken, Bryce Young.
Oh, by the way, the Eagles got
That's Mac Jones. Sorry, I apologize.
the Eagles got Kazir White, which isn't a bad signing too. On top of all this,
Oh my God! Did you just see that sack?
crazy.
Watch this. Round the outside. Round Evan Neal, by the way, number 5 overall pick. Nakobe Dean with the sack. This is versus Florida this year. Oh no, last year.
Instincts to the ball, overruns him, recovers, and gets him from behind.
His intelligence is off the charts. There's a play, and I think they'll get to it, where he's going against Bama, and I just really want to highlight this play. This is, obviously he just finds the ball behind Big 99. 99's on the field on this one. Kobe Dean just stuffing the run whatsoever, getting around the tackles, finding his way through to blocks. This is versus Auburn. This is this year. Open field, tip ball, tip drill. Comes up with the pick.
I don't think he's too small at linebacker. I think that the linebacker position has evolved to a point where
100%. I agree with you.
You're not going to see 280-pound linebackers anymore, 250-pound linebackers. That is the linebacker yesteryear because they have to be able to cover tight ends that are athletic and running backs out of the backfield. It's just that simple.
This is a great play.
And he's good at coverage.
This is a goal line defense. They're trying to run a screen. He blows off the offensive tackle and gets the tackle for a loss. Offensive tackle was guard trying to block him, could not block him.
I mean, two of the teams in the Eagles division like to use the tight end primarily, or not, I shouldn't say primarily a lot, and that would be the Cowboys, and that would be definitely the Redskins, right? And he's good in coverage as well. I mean, and
that's a pick six to the house.
For a linebacker.
100%.
I mean,
he's gone. And want to tell me about his 4.7 40? I should be running a 4.4. You want to tell me about that then? As he jumps the route and takes it 6?
When did linebackers be pegged at a 4.4, by the way? I mean,
with Devin White, Devin Bush. I get it. I understand. You want to sideline the sideline guy. I understand. This guy's instincts, linebackers normally get judged by the 3-cone drill. And his 3-cone numbers are right next to Devin White's, which means he's shifty. He can go side to side, left to right,
it's about
change direction.
Your hip rotation.
By the way, that was a strip sack fumble.
Your hip rotation comes into play.
100%.
And that's the thing that people
Look at this. 3rd and 1.
How does he fall that far though?
All right, so you can cut the highlights off, Mike. I appreciate it. He fell this far because teams had concerns with 1, his size, 2, his injury history with this bicep. He has a strained bicep. 2 doctors said that bicep strained, it just needs PT, no surgery is required. He fell that far because of medical situation and because teams aren't looking for a defensive captain in the draft. They normally have that. People evolve into that. This guy was the best player on the best defense we might have ever watched in the history of college football. They just set the record for most players drafted.
Yeah.
They had 9 guys on their defense drafted.
I mean, that's pretty impressive. Do you think some people were reaching on some of the Georgia players, though?
I do, and I think Green Bay was one of them.
Yeah.
Green Bay left the first round with a Georgia defensive tackle and a Georgia linebacker that weren't named Nakobe Dean or Jordan Davis. And all year, if you watch Georgia football, they were your 2 leaders.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
He was the captain of the best defense ever to go step on a football field, of a college football field. He went in the 3rd round.
Yeah,
I just, some people can play football. These analytics guys get really caught up in what's they think's going on.
What pissed me off
but
is
people can play football. This kid can play football.
I was saying to myself as I watched the draft, I'm like, oh my God, the Eagles can still snab him in the 2nd round. And guess what? They didn't do it. And I'm like, oh, that's great. I was not happy about that. I don't dislike the player, but I'm like, how could you not go for him here, right? And somehow he ends up in their lap in the 3rd round. I mean, Howie's like, yeah, he was the best guy on our board. I'm like, no shit, he was.
He should have been the best guy on your board in the 2nd round.
But hey, man.
But Cam Jurgens, it's funny you bring him up. Let's talk about him next.
Okay.
Cam Jurgens is center that's going to play guard. I'll make a prediction right now for you Eagles fans. Brandon Brooks. So Howie Roseman allotted to the fact that he wants Jordan Mailata, Landon Dickerson to be the left side of their offensive line for the next 10 years. He's like, that's a very formidable left side of your line. Kelsey's going to start at center. And what Howie said was Cam Jurgens and Isaac Seumalo are going to fight for the right guard position.
Okay.
And I think Cam Jurgens ends up starting at guard for you this year. I think next year he slides into the center role and they draft a guard. But the guy's athletic. He's strong. He's a mutter. He brings his lunch pail. He's a tough kid. Jason Kelsey interviewed a ton of ton of centers with the team looking for his replacement. He said Cam Jurgens was his favorite. They also had Tyler Linderbaum in. Linderbaum went 24th overall, 25th overall to the Baltimore Ravens. He was widely regarded as the number 1 center in the draft. Kelsey said this is his favorite guy. This is who he wanted. It's funny. They were interviewing Kelsey live streaming during the draft. Did you see that?
Yeah.
They're live streaming Jason Kelsey during the draft. And they're like, the pick's in, and they tell him, and they're like, oh. And Kel's like, what is it? He goes, Cam Jurgens, center. He goes, yes. And they're like, oh, he's a center. He's like, yeah, I knew they were going to do this. I helped them interview during the process. I helped them scout centers.
Do you like beer? That's the first question. Do you like beer?
But at the end of the day,
Try on this Mummers uniform for me real quick. I want to see how it fits.
if Jason Kelsey gives his blessing on this kid and is going to help mentor him to be our next center, I'm okay with that pick. If he's your next center for the next 10 years, I'm all right with that.
I wasn't mad with the pick. I just was mad that Nakobe Dean was still out there and we might not get him. That's the only thing I didn't like. I was like, oh, my God.
And I agreed with you.
Yeah, I was just like, oh. I'm like, how? I'm like, you know, what? Man, I couldn't believe it. I was sitting there. I was like, how is he still on the board? And when New England traded up, I was like, they're going to take him. I could see New England. I was like, we're fucked.
Yeah.
New England just went in front of us and they took someone else. I'm like, if New England doesn't take him and we just go past this guy and we draft some, if we draft like Milton Washington or Milton, whatever his name
Thompson.
is, Milton Thompson again or whatever his name is, I'm going to be pissed.
You're
But
hilarious. I love you.
I'm like, did Milton Thompson play for the Phillies? Wait, we're talking about something else. All right, but listen, they did great. The thing that shocked me that I had no idea was going on was the A.J. Brown trade.
Okay.
I didn't.
You want to get into that now?
Yes.
I like that.
A.J. Brown out of nowhere. And I wanted Treylon Burks. Oddly enough, the pick that they traded away was he was taken with that. But I can't complain, man. I mean, like, first round pick, 4 years, 25. I don't think it's a killer contract. $57 million guaranteed. You know, and the way they structured it, if Jalen Hurts isn't the guy, you still got him for 3 years. And if you select a rookie quarterback, you got him for 4 years with that fifth option.
Here's my questions I have to ask you. You want to talk about A.J. Brown, right?
Yes.
All right. So what did you want coming into this offseason?
Big body receiver.
What is A.J. Brown?
A big body receiver.
What else did you want out of a wide receiver?
Someone
We talked about this.
Someone with short hands, someone that could, you know, catch a short pass and take it to the house because that's something they're going to have to utilize with Jalen Hurts.
We talked about this. We wanted a leader in the clubhouse
Yeah.
that can help these young guys develop into.
Is he that guy? I'm not saying he's not, but he's younger.
Yes, but he's also he's 24.
Right.
But he also
Still
is
young, 24.
But he's a mentor
Right.
to Jalen Hurts and Devontae Smith already. These are all Bama guys.
Mm-hmm.
So A.J. Brown.
A.J. Brown was on Bama?
I'm 90% sure he was on Bama. Let me just now you got me questioning myself.
But, I mean, I know they were friends and all that, and they saw the social media. Where did he go to college?
Tennessee. Oh, that's Georgia.
That's not
Bama. Ole Miss.
Almost.
I was wrong. But he's friends with Jalen Hurts. He's been friends with Devontae Smith. He helped Jalen Hurts through the whole draft process. Apparently, their families are really close.
Mm.
He's a 1,000-yard receiver 3 times running.
Yeah.
A.J. Brown is what you wanted. You wanted Allen Robinson, right?
Yeah,
You
no.
wanted that leader in the clubhouse.
I
that could
didn't.
help these
I
young
was
receivers.
shooting realistic. I didn't think that was going to happen. But shit, that's better than Allen
Let me
Robinson.
ask you a question. Would you rather had A.J. Brown or Calvin Ridley?
A.J. Brown.
And that's the point. We were going to give up a first-round draft pick for Calvin Ridley.
Because listen, the knock on Calvin. I mean, people have said he was going to be even bigger last year. Maybe there was stuff going on. Apparently, there was that came out later. But I didn't think he was.
I'd bet on Ridley. I'm kidding.
Yeah, I didn't think he was going to be able to live in those shoes.
Catch it.
Yeah, I bet. Oh, that's right.
You
probably-
didn't catch it.
He parlayed himself into this situation, though. That's for sure. And I'm glad the Eagles didn't trade for him because, A.J. Brown. People say he gets hurt a lot. He's never missed more than 3 games. I looked it up. People wanted Deebo Samuel. He's missed way more than 3 games. He's missed almost half the games he's been eligible to play. Both taken in the same draft. The thing I like about
By the way, you want to hear something wild?
Mhm.
So the 18th pick was the Colts pick.
Oh, that is wild.
They gave up the 1st and 3rd that they got for Carson Wentz. So essentially, Howie turned Carson Wentz into an extra first-round draft pick.
Jacoby Dean was the 3rd round pick. Right?
Yeah,
No,
and
no.
A.J. Brown.
Okay, if
They
A.J.
traded
Brown.
1st and 3rd.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. They're coming out of this draft. They still got potentially 2 first-round picks next year.
Yeah.
And another second-round pick.
Yeah.
So 2 first rounds, 2 second rounds. I mean, you're in a good position. A.J. Brown has a big wingspan. He's got good hands, and he can pluck the ball in the air. Tannehill's not a great quarterback, but he's accurate. He's more accurate than Jalen Hurts. Sorry, that's the truth. And what I hope that they're working on with Jalen Hurts right now is play action pass, because this guy can take it to the house. I've seen him do 90-yard touchdowns. I've seen him do 50-yard touchdowns. I've seen him turn a 5-yard slant and take it to the house. And he's an electrifying player. And the Eagles need to score not methodically, but with big splash plays.
I agree with you.
And this is the type of guy that can help facilitate that. Jalen Hurts needs to put in the work, and I'm pretty sure he is. His work ethic has never been in question. The question is, does it come to fruition on the field?
I don't know. If you had a gun to my head, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I really don't. And I think that the Eagles have done everything that they can do to build around him, to give him every opportunity. His starting wide receivers this year are going to be A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and Quez Watkins.
Yeah.
He's going to have Dallas Goedert as tight end.
I'm still not as high on Quez as some people, but I mean, he's
as
not
a slot, though?
It's not bad as a slot.
And then you got Pascal, Zach Pascal.
I think, listen, I don't think he's going to be on your fantasy team scoring you a lot of points, but I think Zach Pascal is a good veteran pickup. If he was the only receiver the Eagles got, yes, it's like shit.
But if my point being is, if they're your 4 wide receivers and your 5th wide receiver is like the ghost of Jalen Reagor,
or the artist formerly known as a wide receiver, new tight end J.J. Arcega-Whiteside.
Jesus. But like, you're not running out Greg Ward this year.
Yeah, he's okay as a 5th though.
No,
Greg Ward.
He's not.
He's not that bad.
Like, he's a practice squad player. That's what he was. He has none of the intangibles, not intangibles. He has none of the measurables to be a starting caliber wide receiver in this league.
So is Jalen Reagor gone?
I don't know. He wiped his Instagram, removed all his Eagles stuff.
I'm glad you brought that up. Who the fuck is he to be scrubbing his Instagram? He's lucky the Eagles didn't scrub their Instagram of him. Are you kidding me? Like, what have you done to be able to be like, I'm giving you the snub on your social media accounts? You are Kyler Murray or Deebo Samuel. And by the way, it's annoying, I think, that players do that now. It's like such a passive-aggressive move. But, okay, you're going to do that. At least have some cred that you're a decent player. I'm sorry, Jalen Reagor. No. Just no. I don't.
I love your response. The Eagles just scrubbed. That's the line of the night right there.
Yeah, they should have. They're being mature, but if I was on the team, I'm like, okay, we're going to take you off the page now, too. That's that. If I was a social media
manager, it sounds
like
a real 4-year-old move, like a 4-year-old throwing a temper tantrum.
Like, is he holding out because he outplayed his contract? No. He should be wearing a mask every fucking game check he cashes. Like, he's getting first-round game checks. And
ski mask, right?
Yeah. He should be sending a thank you letter to Howie Roseman. Thank you for taking me in the first round when everybody else had me in the second round. And thank you for believing my bullshit 40 Twitter video. Yeah, because that's what Howie's like, you know what? I'm glad he tweeted me that.
Godfrey, that has to be your funniest 1-minute rant I've ever heard in my life. We need to clip that and get that on TikTok.
I just can't believe this guy with this, I'm going to scrub him. I'll show them. Catch a ball, motherfucker. Like, I can't believe it. I don't know, man. People, that's the new athlete. I can't believe it. He's probably like going to go to like, an off-season workout with Ben Simmons, or something like that. Like, I don't understand.
I can't take you right now. Hold on, I'm in tears right now.
By the way, A.J. Brown, if he went to Bama, he probably would have been a first-round pick, in my opinion.
Yeah, he went to Ole Miss.
Yeah.
I don't know why I got that mixed up.
Yeah, well, he's from Mississippi, too. But, I'm happy with that, and they have vastly improved the team. I mean, if I were the Eagles, if they could do it, no one's traded for Baker Mayfield yet because everybody knows they're going to have to cut him or get rid of him.
You can't do that.
You can't do that, I know.
I'm not against it. You just can't do that. You can't.
How about this idea? And I'm not against
Seattle needs to do it right now.
I know people are going to say I'm crazy for this. What if Nick Foles says, I'm okay being a backup?
Can't do it.
Even for a cheap price.
Who would you rather have, Gardner Minshew or Nick Foles as a backup right now?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I mean,
the answer is Gardner Minshew. Would you rather not develop Carson Strong?
True. I mean, Carson Strong, and I'm glad you brought him up. I mean, would it be time to get into the undrafted free agents? Because
that's fine.
Eagles had, I'll warn you with this. Undrafted free agents are always hyped up, right? It's the extra round. But You can tell who people really want based off the signing bonus they got, because they're doing that to keep them from going to another team, because they can go to any team they want.
Correct.
So Carson Strong had a knee issue, but the Eagles gave him like $300,000 guaranteed, $320,000, which is pretty significant.
They want to develop him.
Yeah, for an undrafted free agent. They're taking a shot on him. The knee was his.
You also realize that Carson Strong was a projected first-round draft pick going into this year.
Yeah. Yeah, but
and he played his ass off down the stretch.
The knee really.
I get it. I understand.
Now, I think he's better than some of the quarterbacks that were taken in.
He's my 5th best quarterback in this class.
I'm not saying he's better than all the other guys. By the way, man, Malik Willis went really late, huh?
3rd.
Yeah. By the way,
went to a good situation though.
Talk about
Ryan Tannehill is like a great guy.
Yeah,
he's gonna mentor him.
Do you think I think they just caught him in a bad moment, and they're just trying to like turn something into nothing. Like, he's not saying like fuck this guy. He's not gonna give him the old Brett Favre.
Just don't like the response.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's more pissed they didn't tell him he's trading AJ Brown. He said he didn't know.
I don't think Ryan Tannehill deserves to know.
Well, he's not horrible. I mean, he's not great. He's serviceable.
The team had 9 sacks in the playoffs against the other quarterback and lost.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing.
I don't want to hear that. He's not a playoff quarterback. They are drafting him to replace you.
Yeah.
You should be a good teammate, so another team offers you a job.
Malik Willis needs to sit for a couple years, though. In my opinion, he's
pretty raw.
A year. Well, yeah, they're not going to do 2 years. You're absolutely right. But
I like where Matt Corral landed.
Yeah, where did he go? He went
Carolina.
Carolina, that's true. Now, does Matt Rule survive?
No.
Yeah.
Especially if he plans on starting Sam Darnold.
I don't know. You have to lose by grooming. In his situation, I would go Matt Corral and groom him from the start. I don't know what you have to lose by not doing it. I just don't know. I mean, I know you say the people say he's a little raw, but more mobile than Sam Darnold.
He is.
So I would, if I was him, I would be working my best to get him ready to start day one.
I get it.
But yeah. So this Carson Strong kid, they're taking a shot on him. Who knows? Maybe in a year they might be like, "Hey, this is our guy." I don't know. I'm speculating here, but he had surgery before playing his last season. The biggest question surrounding him was his health. Strong said he rushed back to play 6 months after the surgery, a recovery that should have taken a year to recover. Strong says his knee is now fine and not a concern, but they want to see that on the field. So, how do you feel about this kid? Do you think a good undrafted free agent?
I think it's a good shot in the dark to develop a young quarterback.
Yeah,
it's not like he went to an amazing school. He went to Nevada. Not like he's he could be good.
Yeah,
it's a good shot in the dark.
Now,
I'll tell you right now, I like it a lot better than them taking Clayton Thornton in the 4th round and then cutting him before the season started.
You mean Thorson?
Yeah, I forgot his name. It's how bad he is.
I think he's a starter in the USFL right now.
He is.
Yeah,
he's a stud in the USFL.
Until he throws pick sixes and shit. I've watched a lot of USFL. I was being a degenerate and betting on it because, it's USFL. Jeff Fisher's still the same sucky coach, by the way, in case anybody needed to know that. So, anyway, he still thinks it's 1989. Let's run the ball,
Who is he the coach of?
Michigan Panthers.
I have not watched a lick of USFL football.
I've seen every game. So,
Jesus.
Hey, man.
Yeah, you won't watch enough college.
I like the pros. What can I say? You know what? There's less games, though. There's only 8 teams. I'll watch some college this year.
Please,
I'll watch some
promise me you'll watch college.
I'll watch some college.
Thank you.
But I'm not watching, like, the Oklahoma Isotopes versus, like, the
Oklahoma Isotopes?
East Carolina.
The Sooners?
East Carolina Snowcats or something. No, not those. I'm talking about the no-name schools.
Yeah, there's no Oklahoma Isotopes, though,
I know,
bro.
but there's...
you gave me 2 good schools. You said Oklahoma. East Carolina Pirates aren't bad.
They're not.
They kill Temple every year.
Well, yeah, it's a
tall task, right?
Yeah. That's the tallest midget right there. So, there's some other guys. I wanted a running back,
cornerback from Bama. Read him out.
Yeah, Josh Joby.
Yeah, like him.
4th to 5th round rating was what they were going to say. Another person said 4th round is where they would have Matt, but he had some injury concerns, I believe. Right?
It's fine. You take your shots on your undrafted free agents.
Yeah,
Josh Joby's a very good pick.
How about? I've heard a lot of good stuff about Mario Goodrich.
Okay.
How do you feel about him?
Not as big a fan as you are.
Okay. Not a huge fan, but people say that he was a good player. He had trouble cracking the starting lineup at Clemson, and then his last year he did, and he had a good year. So they think he's a late bloomer.
I completely disagree with you.
You don't
He's
like him?
behind Travis Etienne at Clemson. And
No. The cornerback, not the running back.
Oh, okay.
Mario Goodwich.
Oh, Goodwich from Clemson. I apologize. He played opposite of
Right.
Andrew Booth Jr.
So we're hoping he's not Byron Maxwell, is what you're telling me.
Correct.
The thing is, they didn't pay a lot of money for this guy, so
That's fair.
it's worth a shot. How about now that you're mentioning a running back, and the write-up on him was pretty good. Didn't have a great 40 time, but how do you feel about Kennedy Brooks, Oklahoma? Not a fan?
Not a fan.
Okay.
He won't make the team.
You don't think he'll make the team?
No.
Okay. He's just not fast enough, not
That's
elusive
exactly
enough.
what it is. I mean, if you wanted Jordan Howard, you have him. You can sign him on a 1-year deal. I mean, at best, this kid's absolute ceiling is Jordan Howard's worst years.
Okay. Well, that's not very attractive. So,
Just telling you, that's exactly what he is.
okay. What
He's
about
Monte Ball
Okay.
at best.
Now, the Eagles thought they were getting E.J. Perry as well, and he went with the Jags.
Heard about that.
Not a big deal.
Not a big deal.
Doug stole him, apparently. They got some guards.
They need depth. They need guard depth because they cut Herbig.
Yeah.
Herbig wanted to trade. Eagles couldn't find a formidable trade partner, so they cut him. They need offensive line depth. They're going to bring in 4 or 5 of them and figure out the left tackle, right tackle. You really don't have too much to worry about. And then you have Driscoll as your swing tackle in case one of them gets hurt. But they need interior depth, which is why they did that.
What about this Reed Blankenship kid?
I don't even know who that is. Who did he
Man,
play for?
If you don't know who it is, I know why you don't know who it is, because this guy, I don't even know if this was Division I, but I think it was Middle Tennessee State.
You know, it's funny. We had a joke. I bet on Middle Tennessee State like 4 or 5 times last year as like a joke, like nothing serious. But we used to do it. We were doing Super Dog, but I have no idea who he is. I don't know what position he plays. I've never watched him play a game. I don't want to lie to you and pretend I know who that guy is.
Yeah, I think he played 5 seasons actually.
5 seasons in college?
Yeah, I think
he stinks.
But he had over 110 tackles at the pass.
No shit. He played for Middle Tennessee State.
Yeah, I mean,
He was tackling you.
yeah, but he looks like he might be a good special teams player. So
He's not going to make the team.
You don't think I'll make the team?
No.
Okay. What about this Josh Blackwell kid, cornerback Duke? Said he's fast. That's why I put that job. Runs a 4.3.
Probably won't make the team.
Okay. And Noah Ellis, defensive tackle.
No, Ellis is. No, we're very deep at defensive tackle. He's.
Man, I don't see
No.
anything. What about Ali Fayed from Western Michigan, edge rusher?
Okay, so why don't you talk about the edge rusher we took in the 4th round, bro?
Okay, let's talk about him.
So, if you guys aren't any bit, let me pull it up for you real quick, Mike. I'm gonna send you a video, okay? You don't mind?
This guy wasn't from Penn State, was he?
No. I'm gonna send Mike a video of the guy. His Senior Bowl was very, very good.
Did we pick in the 4th round, or is it? I can't remember.
5th or 6th.
It was.
It's Kyron Johnson,
Okay.
6th round, 181 overall. But Kyron Johnson.
So, what do you think about? You think this kid's going to be a player?
I think he'll make the team, and I think he'll have an impact.
So he's going to.
I just want you to look at him for a minute. You'll see what I mean. It's only
They
2
list him
minutes.
as a linebacker too.
It's not a linebacker. Just trust me. I'm going to share it with Mike right now. He'll pull it right on the screen. You'll understand exactly who he is right in a minute.
Kansas, right?
Yep. Kid's I just sent him the video.
Yeah, because they need edge rusher.
Yeah, that's what he is. He's an outside linebacker in a 3-4, but he's an edge rusher.
I mean, the Eagles have upgraded their defense this year. That's for sure, and I'm happy because if
Watch this kid,
if
6th round pick.
if the defense doesn't improve, Jonathan Gannon's got to go. There's no excuse now. 6'1", 235. So would you be more of a tweener?
Yeah, 100% tweener.
Ooh.
You'll see what I mean. And he lined up in the middle linebacker in a nickel double A. He's got speed.
So you're going to use him for some exotic packages.
He's going to get to the quarterback. That play right there, this is versus Texas. Strip, sack, fumble.
The matchup you want to get for him is
He's your 3rd down guy that's going to get after the quarterback. He's going to rush the quarterback, and
He's usually going to be trying to beat like a tight end or a running back, right? You would think of the
No,
matchup.
they'll throw him on the outside.
They will? Okay.
He can match up. Well, he has a video through his combine where he this is versus Oklahoma, by the way. Their lineman got drafted.
Second team All Big 12 selection. You know, height. It's funny when people do the height. It's like I always say, football's like pro wrestling. Like everybody has a different height. They say he's just under 6'1" here. There they say 6'1". Not a big deal. I just, 4 forced fumbles in 2021 led the team.
Kansas isn't a great school, but
No.
this kid is something nice. I actually think he has a future in the NFL. I think he'll make the team. Remember Kyron Johnson, if you're listening.
What about their other picks? Any other pick that you were later on?
The tight end won't make the roster. Forget his name.
Yeah. So he's got to beat out JJ. So it's gonna be tough.
He's got to beat out a couple people. Let me
Yeah.
look at the Eagles depth chart to see what the Eagles released their first depth chart. I want to just pull it up real quick. You could take that off.
Yeah, I mean, because they traded a lot of their middle round picks away, which is okay.
So their first unofficial depth chart that got released on yesterday. They have Isaac Seumalo listed as their starting right guard, Cam Jurgens as their backup center. They have Jordan Davis listed as a backup behind Hargrave and Cox, obviously. They have Milton Williams listed as their second. Their
Milton
fourth.
Williams. You called him Milt Thompson.
You're right.
Yeah.
I just want to see what
Played the outfield for
where
the
I
Phillies
listed.
in '93 as well. Milton Williams.
They have Grant Calcaterra listed above Richard Rodgers right now on the depth chart as the fourth tight end, behind Tyree Jackson, Jack Stoll. and
Richard
Dallas
Rodgers
Goedert.
is still on the team?
Apparently.
What the fuck? He must have bought a seat license from the Eagles or something. I guess he's back. I mean, yeah.
And they have Kennedy Brooks listed as their number 5 running back right now.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for him to make the team. I agree.
What I found really interesting was Nakobe Dean's listed as a backup. Every one of their rookies is listed as a backup, just to be clear, but as a backup to TJ Edwards.
That's not going to happen. There's no way he can't. Is that who he has to compete to be a starter? Is against TJ Edwards?
Yes.
There's no way he doesn't.
Josh Joby and Kyron Johnson aren't given numbers yet, but they're listed as the 4th and 5th corners on the team, where Josh Blackwell is listed as 7th.
Yeah, a lot of people wanted a corner for the Eagles too, and they could still maybe make a trade. I still think they're going to trade Dillard. I just think for something. And,
They could. I mean, he's too good of a backup tackle.
Yeah, I don't see.
So I said Driscoll is.
I don't see him re-signing, and I don't see the Eagles putting a tag on him. They got him for 2 more years, maybe. He was a first-round pick, so they get a 5th-year option.
Yeah, they probably won't pick it up.
Yeah,
they actually might, because left tackles get paid a lot of money.
Yeah, but the thing is, the kid definitely wants to go to a place where he could start. I could see him holding out, like, I'm not signing it. Fuck that. Like, who knows? And I think
This will be his 4th year.
Yeah, I think you can get value for him this year. Teams need tackles, and I think you can get a player and maybe add. I really wanted the Eagles.
They might wait to see if a team loses a tackle, kind of like they Sam Bradford people.
Yeah, but I still can't believe they got a 1st-round pick for him. Just
1st and a 4th.
It's fucking crazy.
They called up Philadelphia and they were like, "We'll give you a first." He's sold, and a 4th. Yeah, he's already on a plane. I don't know why you keep talking.
I know it didn't happen right away, but when Spielman, the Minnesota Viking, manager or general manager at the time, made that trade, I was like, yeah, he's getting fired. He's getting fired.
I'll tell you right now, though, I don't think Minnesota's GM is laughing at anybody this draft. You want to talk about a team that had a really awful draft?
I have a friend that's a Vikings fan. He was so pissed off. He was like, when the fuck are we going to draft a player?
They gave up such value to Detroit. They gave up the 12th overall pick for 32 and 34, and then they gave up the end of the 2nd-round pick. So basically, they moved back 20 spots to move up 30 in the 2nd.
And they helped someone in their own division.
Yeah, Jameson Williams. And then they gave a pick to the Packers, and the Packers selected the wide receiver out of North Dakota State.
Why wouldn't you take Kyle Helms in a 12 there? I have no idea.
None whatsoever.
And especially Harrison.
But thank God they didn't, because we might not have been in the position that we were in.
Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't trade with us if Jameson Williams is still there.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. And the thing is man, I just can't believe them. The Vikings fans feel bad for them, man. But the Eagles did what they needed to do, and I'm excited about it. I don't know who wouldn't be excited as an Eagles fan. I'm still belated that they got Nakobe Dean in the third round, but the biggest question mark now is going to be the offense. How are they going to put it together?
Well, it's not the offense.
You don't think so?
Biggest question mark on this team is there's two question marks, and you can choose the biggest question mark. It's the quarterback, not the offense.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
Because everything else on that offense is ready to go.
I
You
agree.
might need a running back, maybe.
I wanted them to take a running back, but I still think maybe they could pick one up. I
This
wanted
might have
Melvin
been-
Gordon to come
This
here.
might have been the worst running back draft
Yeah,
you might ever see.
I think
Ever.
I think had a bad draft. I think the Seahawks didn't have a good draft personally.
Okay.
I don't know what they're doing. They're gonna just tank and hope Drew Lock does good. Like,
I think that their move is to get Baker Mayfield.
yeah, but if you're a team, you're not trading for him. You're gonna wait till they have to release him.
I mean, if I'm the Seahawks, I give them a 5th-round pick,
Call it
and
a
I
day.
call it a day. And I take Baker Mayfield.
I think teams want them to
and you
pay
get
the
Baker
money.
Mayfield with Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf, and now Charles Cross as his left tackle. That's not terrible.
Yeah, he's looking to do something. I just thought,
Baker's going to go Seattle.
yeah, I mean he has
Clip
to
it.
go somewhere unless does Deshaun get suspended though for a couple games, 6 games.
Doesn't matter. They already signed Jacoby Brissett to be his backup. Baker Mayfield will not play a game in Cleveland this year.
Yeah, I agree. And now everybody was also surprised about a first-round pick for Marquise Hollywood Brown, and now they know why. 'Cause
Yeah.
of the DeAndre Hopkins suspension.
You think Arizona knew about that before they made that?
Absolutely.
They had to.
The Ravens were like, yeah, we're gonna no KY for you. We're just gonna give it to you, and the first-round pick for Hollywood Brown. The funny thing is that's not an equal replacement. I mean, there's not a lot of D-Hops out there, but that's not the same type of receiver.
Yeah, I know, but you
I'm
just
like-
said it yourself. There's not a lot of D-Hops out there.
Yeah, but
What did you expect
He's
him
a
to do?
smaller, faster guy. I mean, like,
I think Hollywood is more.
they have
replace-
Rondell Moore already.
I think Hollywood is more to replace Christian Kirk.
Yeah, but Christian Kirk was a bigger guy too.
No.
I mean, he was like 6. Wasn't he like 6'2",
I don't know how
6'1"?
tall he is. He's not a bigger guy. He's very thin, very frail.
Yeah, but Hollywood Brown's not even. Does he even break 6 foot? I know he's fast.
Nobody's fast.
We're gonna see, but
You got Hollywood Brown. You got Rondell Moore. You got AJ Green. I mean, that's not a terrible wide receiving core to walk into a season missing Nuke for 6 games.
I think Hollywood Brown, and this might be an unpopular
Plus, you got
opinion.
the petulant baby at quarterback.
Yeah, that's true. But Hollywood Brown, I think, didn't want to be in Baltimore because he knows the passing game is not the focal point there, whether it's his fault or not. I mean, he dropped a lot of balls. Don't get me wrong.
Dropped a lot of balls.
Right, so he should really be focusing on himself. But yeah, I mean that's crazy to me. Like they had to give up a first-round pick for him. I would have never paid a first-round pick. There had to be so many other receivers they could have got. It's almost like they were trying to do it before the news broke. You know what I mean?
They actually couldn't get any wide receivers where they were at.
No, I meant like
They were all gone.
I'm talking about other established wide receivers that they could
get
have
it.
traded a first-round pick for. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, AJ Brown went for a first and a third,
Yeah,
but then you have to pay him.
true.
They didn't have to pay Marcus Hollywood Brown.
Yeah, I think that's part of the reason why he wanted to get out. He figured he could have better success.
Well, you can't get stats with Lamar Jackson. They don't throw the ball enough,
Right.
and his throws are mainly to the tight end.
Yeah, he doesn't. Yeah, it's.
I think Rashard Bateman was going to eat into a lot of his targets too.
Bateman's a stud.
I really like Bateman.
I just
46 catches his rookie year, and he missed the first 5 games.
yeah, Bateman's a stud. I like Bateman a lot. I don't know, man. I we'll see on that. The offense, it's the quarterback. You're right for the
And on the
Eagles.
defensive side, it's Jonathan Gannon and the secondary.
Yeah,
I love our front 7.
So here's the thing about that, though. I know people wanted a cornerback, and I was going to say that earlier. Try searching something with Google Voice with saying cornerback and quarterback and see which one it picks up. It's pain-
We're from Philly. Most
pain in the
people know how to pronounce words. We
yeah,
don't.
yeah. So it's that front 7 can make the secondary look better than it actually
100%
is,
can.
and that's why I'm okay with that because you can't really have a high price secondary and have a high price front 7. It's not going to work.
I got news for you. If the Eagles do not make a signing at corner, Xavier Rhodes, you could look at a buyout for a safety from Baltimore because they have 3. Now they got Kyle Hamilton that took best player available. They have 2 starters there already. But if they do not, I think Zach McPherson steps in as your number 2 corner.
Ooh.
And Vontae Maddox stays in the slot, obviously.
Yeah. I think there's a move where they can get someone for the secondary by trading Andre Dillard. I could see that swap
Yeah,
happening.
but who?
I don't know. Maybe someone becomes available. Maybe a team has to let someone go because, you know, in the grand scheme of things, if you're short a left tackle and you have a surplus of cornerback, you're gonna have to let the cornerback go to shore up the left tackle
Agreed.
position. So
Dillard is a trade chip. You are absolutely correct.
Yeah,
I just need to figure out where. I don't know where.
Yeah, I mean the rumors are going to start after what's one of the first cuts or the veteran cuts, like June, I think. It's
July 1st.
July 1st. That's when
It's
you're going
not
to
like veteran cuts. What it is part salary. Like it becomes less guaranteed money.
Right,
People
right.
get released around that time.
you're going to start seeing that with some veteran players, I think, when people have to move money around. Especially, you never know, like if a team has to give a Deebo Samuel some money, or maybe Terry McLaurin has to get restructured, right, to keep him happy. I mean, if I was Washington, they got the kid from Penn State, I'd be like, oh shit, we got to pay this kid because McLaurin's been able to produce with nobody at quarterback.
Bro, their wide receiving core this year is Jahan Dotson, Curtis Samuel, and Terry McLaurin.
It's pretty good.
Once again, Carson Wentz screws up. It's no fault but anybody's but his own.
Yeah, because McLaurin's a stud. He's just never had anybody.
Agreed.
I mean, imagine.
You know what the crazy part is? Carson Wentz is an upgrade over anybody they've had a quarterback the last 3 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's fair to say.
And the Washington football Commanders still have terrible odds to win the division. That tells you what the betting public thinks of Carson Wentz.
Cowboys, by the way, did not really. I don't think they had a really good draft.
They did not.
Yeah.
They tried replenishing their line, which makes sense. Their line's getting really long in the tooth. I think the Giants had a good draft, though.
Yeah, they had a decent draft. I think the first 2 picks were.
Evan Neal and Kevin Thibodeau.
Yeah,
They're going to be terrorists.
yeah.
Jesus Christ, that sounded bad.
Yeah.
They're going to terrorize defenses and offenses. I called them terrorists.
Well, they could
I get it. I
Yeah. Well, listen, the Giants definitely had a good draft. I wasn't so happy about their back end, really, but I mean, those
where
first
you were happy with their back end.
No, not that kind of back end.
No, I meant like you were happy because they were not good picks.
Right.
Jesus, Godfrey, get your head out of the gutter.
Yeah. No. Well, I thought you were calling them terrorists and all that again. Like,
Jesus Christ.
No, the Giants. Yeah, as an Eagles fan, I don't want to see them do well, right? But I mean, the Cowboys really didn't do well, and I think the Cowboys, you lose Randy Gregory, and you had to keep Dan Quinn there. Dan Quinn's going to say bye next year because they didn't replenish his defense.
I promise you that Dan Quinn will make that defense still look good.
Yeah, and I agree.
In the NFL, I think schemes are more important sometimes than players.
But losing Randy, they have nobody going up the middle now. Losing Randy Gregory.
What do you mean up the middle? Randy Gregory was an edge.
And the edge. They're not. They're
Micah Parsons.
No, but he's not playing D tackle. I'm talking
He'll
about.
play D end.
You think they'll put Parsons at the end?
He's been playing outside linebacker in a 3-4 system as an edge rusher.
I get that, but Randy Gregory is a huge loss for them. They
Micah Parsons reminds me of Lawrence Taylor.
True.
Like, that's how good he is.
He's good, but remember, Lawrence Taylor didn't have a bunch of stiffs around him on his defense either. They had some good players. They weren't Lawrence Taylor, but Leonard Marshall was good. You had Carl Banks. He was a good player. Pepper Johnson, Henry.
I love that you're naming the '87 Giants.
But I mean, they were a good squad.
No, it's just. You want to talk about football knowledge? This guy just rattled off 580. You tell me 587 Giants.
I can go more Dave Meggett, but no.
Oh, that's an offense. Come on, bro.
I can't remember the guy's name that got in the Hall of Fame. It was a Giants linebacker. They were petitioning for him to be in the Hall of Fame. I can't remember his name. Probably he's not Hall of Fame worthy. He's better than the other guys I mentioned. But anyway, point's still the same. I went the Giants. I dislike the Giants very much. If you listen to the show, and I dislike the Cowboys. But the Cowboys, I'm laughing at them because the reason why they're struggling is because they had to let people go because they wanted to pay big money to a running back and a quarterback, which I don't think works in a modern day NFL.
Just pulled up the Cowboys depth chart. Let's just look at this for a minute. They got Dante Fowler, so they have 2 edge rushers. They have nobody at defensive tackle. You are absolutely correct. Carlos Watkins is their starting.
Yeah, Dante Fowler ain't the answer.
What?
Dante Fowler is not the answer.
I mean, he's an edge rusher.
Yeah, but I'm saying like that's not.
Leighton Vander Esch, Micah Parsons. They still have Jabril Cox, who I like. Anthony Brown, Trevon Diggs, Malik Hooker, Jaron Kirsch. You're right.
Yeah,
You're right. It's not that great of a defense.
The Eagles should be able to run the ball down their throats. Micah Parsons is a problem, but they'll be able to run the ball on him. I really think, unless they do what they did the first game last year, right? Which they just were overmatched.
I agree.
The first game against the Cowboys is still a nightmare. But Micah Parsons is the problem. That's for sure. But they don't have the money to spread around because, they got to hit on their draft picks. And, look at their corners, too. All right, Jerrion Kearse, pretty good. He's about 28, right? Trayvon Diggs, definitely good. I had a great season.
Overrated.
Yeah, I agree there, too. Anthony Brown, how do you feel about Anthony Brown?
He's not a bad player. He's not
right.
special.
Vander Esch, okay, great. Micah Parsons. So basically they're going to be relying on 3 players on that defense, which is DeMarcus Lawrence,
Leighton
Vander
Esch,
and Micah Parsons. So I think
and Trayvon Diggs.
I think you
Still
can
good
you can
player.
neutralize that attack. I really think with a good
Anything
running
that
game.
surprised you in the draft? Like
What?
final comments on the draft? Sorry, like end of show.
Anything that surprised me in the draft. Yeah, the Packers not taking a receiver in the first round.
They couldn't. They were all taken.
They were all taken.
Then I'm getting Christian Moore in a second, which I'm happy with.
Yeah, he's North Dakota State, right?
Yep.
And that could work out for him. The Packers seem to be able to.
Cole Strange.
Cole Strange, yeah, that was a strange pick, right?
Yeah, strange.
Yeah, Sean McVay laughing at Bill Belichick.
I think Bill Belichick won't forget that.
Oh, he's not. There's a picture of Sean McVay's face, and he's throwing darts at it right now, putting lipstick on. Adam Sandler reference right there. No, right?
I don't. By the way,
Where's that from? Billy Madison? Is that where that's from?
It's I need to make this very clear. This is not an Eagles talk. The producer of this show, Mike Francolino, told me 2 things before this show that I just can't understand. One, he's never seen the movie Training Day. I just don't know how you never see that movie.
Who are your witnesses?
Exactly, Jake. Who are your witnesses? Second, I asked him for his Mount Rushmore of actors, and the first name he gave me was Adam Sandler.
That is highly questionable. You got to be a big Adam Sandler fan for that.
Mount Rushmore actors. He says Adam Sandler.
That's supposed to be a slap.
Jesus.
Horrible sound effects.
All right. What any final comments?
Yeah.
Just whip him?
Yeah,
Jesus.
just whipped him. I whipped him for that. Yep. Well, Mike's been hallucinating a lot lately. He's had a kid, so he's probably been sleeping an hour a night on average. So maybe we can give him a pass on that. We'll ask him next week after he's gotten some sleep. But final comments. Draft was great. Mike, I think
They cut your mic
I think
off.
you just cut my mic. What a jerk off.
Mike cut Godfrey's mic off.
Did you cut my mic?
He did.
What an asshole. All right, so you go 1 minute over and Mike's cutting you off. I see how this place runs. But yeah,
Oh.
final thoughts. Draft was cool. Eagles finally, for once, I don't think that might have been the first time in my life I came away from the draft feeling good. Is it?
I agree.
First time, ever in being an Eagles fan. I know that's crazy. I felt good about McNabb, but the whole draft I feel good about.
I have one final comment.
Shoot.
Nakobe Dean will one day be an all-pro middle linebacker and a Hall of Fame middle linebacker.
Wow, Hall of Fame.
I wanted that on record today, the week after the draft, because that's how strongly I feel about Nakobe Dean.
We're going to have to save this for about 12 to 13 years and then send this TikTok to Nakobe Dean when he's making a Hall of
I'll
Fame
send it to
speech.
him. They'll play it as Hall of Fame speech.
But, folks, you'll see us in 2 weeks again. And as we get closer to training camp, we'll ramp up more episodes. But thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening to us talk to you through this exciting draft for the Eagles. And as always, me and Gene aren't saying goodbye. We're just saying, take it birds deep.